all recognise there was a large jump in house prices across the COVID pandemic period and a subsequent easing throughout 2022. So what drove it and what is in store for the property market? Currently, there are lots of people pointing the finger at population growth and its impact on rental prices. Let's address that up front as a bit of a white elephant. To begin with, the 25% jump in property prices across the pandemic period was in the complete absence of population growth. Remember, our borders, like that of the rest of the world, were shut, and in 2 quarters our population actually went backwards. And while the borders are now open and immigration is outpacing forecasts, total population remains below the pre-COVID trend. So while population growth is helping to put a floor under the property market across 2022 to 23, it wasn't the driver of price rises during the pandemic. There has been a bias since the pandemic period of people choosing to live in smaller households. That is, living with a smaller number of people within their house. And it's little surprise that this would be the case, particularly in cities such as Melbourne, which suffered through a particularly long period of lockdowns. And while this smaller household narrative may be playing into the shortage of available rental properties, it is again at the margins and instead points towards the more fundamental of issues. That is, we simply haven't built enough homes. We're not building enough homes, and the supply-demand story is driving the outcome. And we are seeing this play out in the market right now. The quantity of sales being completed remains above its 5-year average, even against the backdrop of hiking interest rates. People are still buying property. This tells us that demand is strong. And our fully employed population, largely up to date with their mortgages but noting prices have fallen, are simply not listing their houses for sale. Total listings are lower than 2022 and well below the 5-year average. Soft supply, strong demand. This is what has driven the recent rise in the housing market. The question is this sustainable? We are starting to see emerging signs of increased stock coming onto the market shortly, which is common for this time of year. However, with no signs of widespread panic selling, it remains to be seen whether any additional volume will be drawn onto the market by the recent lift in house prices. But even if we revert to more normal levels of supply, this is only papering over the cracks. There has been for many years a structural undersupply of property in the market. That is, we've been building too few homes now for a long time. Not enough to outpace new entrants into the country, and that's not going to change anytime soon. We still have a shortfall. Troubled builders are working through their own issues, and there is the expectation of stalled or delayed completions coming online shortly. And we note some ambitious plans by governments to build vast amounts of housing over the next 5+ years. But this seems fanciful for a fully employed economy. Who will build them? Or more to the point, what will we not build in order to free up capacity? If anything, such a program enacted will see the prices of labour and materials soar in the short term. And what is the net impact of that? Yes, increased house prices. Thank you for watching.